Welcome back to Just Start. This is Juan with lastrealflip. Um, this is episode 2, my first solo podcast, where I'm going to be talking more about the things that I'm interested in, why I'm doing this, what this is even about, and where I plan to go from here. Episode 1's going to be linked somewhere in the description or up here or here or something. I don't know. I'll figure it out. Um, but this is more of a solo thing. This is me explaining my kind of thought process on this, and hope this works for you, and hope you take something away from this. I guess I firstly want to start with this saying that this is mainly for me. This whole series is going to be for me, for retrospection and everything. Whenever I'm looking back on this in the future, and I'm thinking, hey, what was I going through this time where I'm really kind of like really pushing myself to make something of myself and kind of create my space and take up space in this field. This is very difficult. It's not an easy thing to do, to really get in front of a camera and look at yourself and be really honest um, for yourself, and then kind of put that honesty and real transparency out in front of other people. And it's not easy. And I don't plan to get into super personal things in here, I guess. It's more of what I'm doing, where I'm at kind of situation. So let me just start with this. Last Roll Flip is my own personal design brand. This is what I'm doing. This is what I'm doing outside of my jobs, how I'm supporting myself, and how I'm really kind of making a space for myself. It's a platform which I'm using on Instagram. I have a website, lastrealflip.com. I have a blog on there, and now I have a YouTube channel. And hopefully, at some point, I'm going to figure out how to put this like on streaming. So if I need to like listen to it later on like Apple Podcasts or Spotify, I'm figuring out how to put that on there at some point. But right now, this is where it's at. It's on YouTube. Yeah. So this is my personal design brand. Um, the plan with Just Start, the series that you're seeing right now, is to in contact with other creative people, people who are actually living the lives that I really want to live. I think that there's a unique perspective there that I don't get to see all the time coming from my other two jobs, like my corporate job and also my side job. And so this is my kind of third gig, and really honestly the most important to me personally. So I'm making the most of this right now. This is where all my resources are going. It's where all my spare time is going. This is where all like when I'm not thinking about how to do my job, whenever that's not occupying my mental space, this is where my brain's at. Currently, I'm set up in my bedroom. As you can see, this is where I'm at right now, but the goal is within a few months, not off this money alone, but like with me working really hard on my other stuff, be able to get my own place, and hopefully by then I can kind of have a little more creative freedom and a little more space for myself to kind of branch out and meet other people and talk to other people, and hopefully give me like kind of the office space that I need to do this. It's been tough. I moved down to Dallas like last May. So coming up on 11 months now. I've been here for 11 months. And it's crazy how life will change if you let it. If you allow it to kind of if you allow it, but if you will it. Um, I have been very fortunately surrounded by a lot of people who've been pushing me in the direction to keep going, in the direction that I want to keep going. So, first and foremost, thank you to everybody who's been on this path with me. Thank you for all the support, all the pushing, all the everything that I really couldn't do by myself. Um, I got a lot of people in my corner who are very supportive, and I gotta be first and foremost very thankful to you guys. So, if you're watching this, thank you guys, and I really hope that this is like the start to really kind of paying you guys back for everything that you've done for me. Let's see, I got a few notes here that I want to really kind of talk about. Um, this won't be like incredibly long. I don't. We'll see. We'll see how long this goes, and what kind of side tangents I end up going on. But the first kind of thing that I really want to touch on was why Lastro Flip? Like, why am I doing this? And I think it started somewhere around when I first moved out from home to go to college, and I was really confused about everything. I was really confused as to what I wanted from the world. Really confused as to how to get that and how to really go after it. And I think that the last 7 years since then have been um, a master class, a crash course for how to figure out how to be organized, how to stay disciplined, how to stay consistent, and how to really pursue the things that I really want to pursue. I started off going to school trying along the path of with the idea of becoming a doctor, and I told my family this from a young age, and I kind of had this whole story narrative crafted out for myself as to why I wanted to do that. But like somewhere along that path, I think after really and truly after my first real true shadowing experience, I realized this is not something that I wanted to do. It just wasn't calling to me the way I thought it would. I shadowed with an internist, and I was like just so kind of disillusioned by how it actually works, like the ins and outs of the healthcare industry, and I was just like not as interested in it as I thought I was going to be. I saw kind of like it seemed too mundane for me. I needed something like a little more like stimulating, maybe like colorful, and it was kind of a rude awakening to me whenever I was sitting in the doctor's office with the doctor I was shadowing with, and I was falling asleep because I was just so bored with like what was going on, and I was trying to ask questions and stay interested in what he had to say and why he was saying these things and what and like kind of into his story, and I think at that point I was kind of lying to myself, being like, yeah, I could see myself doing this. This is like a reasonable path. I think I can make decent money doing this. My family would be really proud of me. But coming from a Hispanic household, I think it was like a big deal to me that I was like, oh, I get to be the doctor in the family. And I think that was still like that would have been really cool in another lifetime. But I mean, I'm here now, and it's not really. I'm so far removed from that idea. It's crazy that I. It feels crazy to me that I would even think that I would want to do that at this point. Um, yeah, I mean, going back to school when I was doing that after that experience, I was really like, oh my gosh, like what am I gonna do? I don't really want to do this, but I didn't really have the money to switch career tracks, and I was kind of upset with myself that I let myself get that far without really kind of questioning anything. And that was kind of a theme at that time in my life where I was kind of just not questioning anything. I was kind of going along with whatever seemed like the best kind of route at the time. And like I said, it just wasn't really working for me. I got to a point I was really miserable, like going to school, and like I was like really isolated myself from everything and everybody. And I think it was at one point where I ended up moving with one of my best friends, Ethan, and meeting some other guys I ended up living with that shout out Mickey and Serge as well, who really kind of really pushed me, not really pushed me, but allowed me, give me space to grow into being a person who I'm like more proud of being right now, someone who can like actually turn the camera on and talk and and feel comfortable doing that with myself because I think there was a lot of negativity and a lot of insecurities going at that time, but this guy's really gave me some space to really flesh things out for myself, and I thank them greatly for it, really. So shout out them. But there was a class I was taking around that time whenever I moved in with those guys. It was like Greek arts, gods and heroes, and ancient Greek and Roman history or art or something like that. And I realized that there was like a lot of cool things, and I was really kind of entranced and enamored with this kind of subject of art, which truly at the time I was like really foreign to, and I was like, this is such a dumb class. Why would I take this? It's not worth my time. Like I'm on the track to become a doctor. Even though I knew I didn't want to be a doctor, I was like, this is what I'm doing anyway, so who cares? But it's the class I had to take, just as a humanities course, and it's the only one that like fit my schedule, I guess, I think. And I remember just signing up and being like, this is gonna be a different class. And I really, like I said, fell in love with the class. It was really cool to kind of see different art styles and see different takes on like what was deemed art and like why people chose to stick around to it. Ever since then, I think I've been kind of try to hone my creative eye a little bit more and kind of be more selective with the things that I put out there. Um, and it's been it's been a journey since. Like shout out Giovanni, who's like kind of been like also another key guy who like helped me really push myself creatively and he started up a few things and we worked together a few times trying to put some stuff out under Sad Mag. And if it weren't for him, honestly, I wouldn't be here either. So yeah, I mean, we ever since then I've been like hanging out with these guys and trying to be like a little more creative. And I told with many ideas at the time. That time wondering like what was I was really like passionate about. A lot of ideas came forth, like trying to like design like a kind of make a cartoon and work on magazines and everything like that. And these things have been more or less flashes in the pan, I guess. And they've been like cool ideas to toy with, but I really couldn't at the time really commit to anything like that because I was so committed to finishing out my degree because I was so far into this thing and I needed to prove to myself that I could finish something. But along the path, I was like really confused and upset and kind of done with the idea that like this was going to be my thing. Like I knew going into it, I guess I knew for like along this path, like this was not something I want to do. I went to school I ended up finishing with a degree in biology and ended up working at a research lab for about like 2 years, just over 2 years. And I was like hanging out and I was like, this is not something I really want to do. Like I was seeing my kind of principal investigator above me, and he was working weekends and getting there early and getting there late. And I've always wanted to work really hard at something, like really, really hard at something, and be like one of the greats. But that path of research was just not calling to me. I think like a lot of I was more interested in like kind of the designing aspect of everything, of like trying to make things look beautiful and make things look presentable and work on, data presentation and things like that. And I would do the experiments and I would do all the other kind of molecular biology work and everything like that, and working with different kind of scientists to get to the end of wherever I was trying to go in this creative in this research path. But it was just not I couldn't see myself getting super into, and I wasn't super into, months and months of work just to get like a few numbers and then be like, oh, that was like pointless. Like not pointless, like we found out that's not the way to go, but for stuff that I just really wasn't that interested in. Like I remember my PI sitting me down and being like, hey, I think you need to like kind of take on one of these experiments for yourself. And I tried and kind of took the lead on these things and I was able to do it, but it just wasn't like reaching out my soul. I hated it. I really hated it, and I was trying to love it, but I just couldn't. I really couldn't love it. I knew that I wanted to design and create, and that's more what I'm passionate about. I'm looking at the talking notes, but along this bullet point says it's so easy to let the day slip by and wonder when the next burst of energy or inspiration will come about. But lastral flip is a way for me to harness all that focus and energy of my life and transform into something bigger with the help of God and through many other people. So that kind of leads me, I mean, I think that speaks for itself, but I think that leads me into what I've kind of honed in on my mission statement is a life with less noise. There's so much going on all the time. You can't escape it. You can't escape the world, and you shouldn't try to escape the world, but there's just way too much that demands your attention that is not for you. Um, somewhere this is this somewhere along the lines of, for me, I'm trying to help create uh, a world with less noise, or at least help people hone in on the idea of less noise. It's like I think our modern day like Sisyphean feat, like every day waking up, trying to kind of ignore all this other bullshit that's going on in the world, all like the ignorance and the malice and everything like that, and really hone in on like on our lives and make our lives what we want them to be more than anything. It's been a challenge for me since I got started, and it's continuing to be a challenge. And I don't think it's ever going to go away. And I'm not shying away from that in any stretch of the imagination. Like this is something I'm really trying to take head on. It's been, like I said, very, very difficult to try to get this thing going. Trying to, like I said, the first episode, I think I did like 40 different takes, 40, 50 different takes of trying to just get it started. And I was like, I was like, start over and start over, start over. But I mean, really and truly, you just gotta start. And how you just start is by removing all the excess noise. There's just too much. Like you can definitely get paralyzed. I get paralyzed sometimes by how much noise I let into my life. And I guess my aim of this is to just reduce the noise. And I think it starts off with being a very careful planner. Like one thing that my boss was telling me about everything was that I was like really trying to do so much, but I really didn't have a good plan of how to go about it. And ever since then, I mean, not since then, but like this year, I've made like a very, I mean, this is the back end of the year, hasn't happened yet, but this other stuff, I've really, and this is 2024. So there's a sort of back, like a few, like 3 or 4 months in here where I'm really kind of just like locked in, trying to figure out what exactly needs to be done. And this is like truly, this is the book that I'm living by right now, and trying to plan out my weeks, planning out my weeks to make sure that I get things done that I need to get done. And it'll start off by Sunday. Sunday, I'll sit down. I will, what do I have to do for the week? What needs to get done more than anything else? I know that a blog needs to go up on Tuesday. I know that I need to budget on Wednesday. Thursday, at some point, I need to be talking to somebody creatively, trying to get something working on for that. And by Friday, 10 o'clock, which is what I'm setting it up for now, Friday, 10 o'clock Central Time is when the blogs are going up. So, and then that falls into the weekends where I work Monday through Friday, 8 to 5, and then on the weekends, most weekends, I work at a bar like 6:40, 6:30 ish to like 2 a.m. And I'm grinding away. There's not a whole lot of time for me to do anything else. I don't really have time. I'm working out as much as I can in the meantime, trying to stay fit, trying to stay healthy, trying to make sure my mind and my body are right. And that all comes with like trying to start the week out as accurate to like what I can do every single week, and then just checking off how much, like kind of giving myself a score, like blank out of 10, how many tasks I have for the day, how many of those I get done for the day. Like that's what I get. So if I get like 3 out of 5 things done for the day, I get a 3 out of 5, which is a 60, which isn't great, but definitely better than zero. And it, keeps me moving, keeps me moving. And I think one way to further kind of work on this a little bit more is what I've been working on recently is really evaluating day by day how this is going and kind of moving on from there. Like, do I need to move some things around a little bit more? But the main thing being, the most important part of this thing, of the planner, is following through with what you say you're going to do to the best of your ability and not leaving anything for excuses. There's like no excuses. Like if I say if it's in here, I really shouldn't be getting 3 or 5. I don't know why I'm so like content like doing that. Like 60% is better, but I need to be getting more because like I want more. I want I want to make sure that I'm good, physically, mentally, emotionally, financially, spiritually. There's so many aspects that I'm juggling right now, and the self-talk is so important. So how I talk to myself about myself is probably one of the biggest parts of this thing. Um, and being able to look yourself in the mirror at the end of the night and be like, "Hey, you did that. Like, good job." But like, go to sleep, and tomorrow we're back at it. Is so important because like this thing never stops, and the noise keeps coming in. Like, hey, like I could really go out. I could go have some like I could have a few drinks tonight. Like, have a good time. Go get drunk or whatever. And that sounds fun. Like, but like you know, I'm really focused on this other thing. Like, this is what I'm doing. So following through is super important to me. This is, I mean, planning everything out. I mean, it's definitely helped me get my financials back in order. Like, better. I mean, I was like definitely in debt before I moved here, and now I'm not in debt anymore. It's been attributed to like how much I've been working. and everything, but there's so much more that I need to get done financially, but this is like the first step, like making sure I'm on top of my stuff every single week. I think maybe twice a week would be better. I might start moving towards that, but we'll see with that. I mean, it's also helped me get my blogs up and going every single week. It's not a question every Tuesday by like 11 p.m. Those things are up. And it's helped me schedule to make time for those who I really care about. And help me understand how work is going to affect my available time and my mental health. Because it's pretty easy to get caught up in everything. So planning, execution are huge at Last Real Flip. Uh, Manifestation is huge. I think it's a very all-encompassing and very like very big word, very hot word, I guess. I think a lot of it's self-talk and a lot of it is like how you see yourself. Um, I was talking with my friend Ethan about this, and we were having a conversation like yesterday. And the main thing I really wanted was getting across was like, yo, thank God for all the struggles that I've been through. I mean, I wouldn't say I've had a hard life. I've had a pretty good life, and definitely I know that people have had it way worse than me. But I've had my fair share of struggles, mentally, emotionally, physically, financially, everything. And I just thank God for all those moments that I've had because looking back on the kid who who didn't start this thing, who was like way back home and like a very scared and timid kid and was scared of the world, like I wouldn't say I'm like so far removed from that. I mean, I'm very far removed from that kid, but I mean, there's still that kid lives inside of me. But it's all been attuned to like all the struggle that I've been through and like trying to figure out how to make something from nothing. And I'm not a millionaire. I'm not a self-made millionaire, not yet. This is well in the path, and I'm manifesting all that stuff going forward. This is I think how you talk to yourself and about the world reflects back out in the world, and it's a kind of an energy thing. And I think it's really hard. It'd be really hard pressed to try to convince me otherwise. Um, I think one of the first books that I ever read on my improvement journey for myself was The Alchemist by Paulo Coelho. I don't know how to say his last name. I'm butchering it, but it's really one of my favorite stories of all time, and I'm really listening to it right now, actually, on my way to work and on my way back and everything. Every time I get a free chance, I'm just listening to that book. It's a short read, it's a beautiful book, The Alchemist, and a lot of it talks about kind of manifesting and one living out their own a person living out their own personal legend. And yeah, I think that's what I'm doing right now, and I think dying along this path would be better than not living it out at all. So. That's not something I want to give up on. It's not something I'm going to give up on. This is going to be the rest of my life, truly. So I'm doing everything in my power um, to keep the focus and keep the vision alive. I hope that comes through. Another key thing here, right here. Oh, I guess I should say back to the manifestation part. Talking with Ethan, self-talk is important, but whenever all your chips are down, how are you going to react? Are you gonna shrink and like live as if you don't feel like this is the path that you're meant for? Or are you going to continue forward in with faith that this is what you're meant to do? Are you confident that this is what you want to do? Is this how do you want to react? Is kind of the biggest question I've been asking myself for quite some time. It's led me to a number of different places and it's made my life so much better. Um, so just something to think about. How are you going to react when all your chips are down? Whenever you're down on your luck, whenever you're down here and you've been used to being up here, how are you going to get back up here? What are you willing to do about that? You just got to start. You just got to start. Start somewhere, start small, and then start working your way back up. Start working your way back up because it's getting that ball rolling again is probably the hardest part about all of that. Once you get started, it is a lot easier and a lot um, more doable, and you're seeing kind of results that make you feel like you're on the right path and you just keep believing it And you feed into this idea, and whether it's crazy or not, like who cares? Like it's working for me. So I hope that works for you, and I hope that the vision also is consistent throughout. I believe in this, and I believe in my ability to connect people and to connect with people more than anything. So manifesting is also another kind of key pillar of Last Real Flip. Another key foundational kind of principle of lateral flip is just the follow through. I've been in my life a lot of points where it hasn't been my follow through has been not good, and it's shown in a lot of areas. And thank God I've had a lot of people in my life who care enough about me to say something about that. Because I think one thing I really remember about playing football in high school was like the second someone stops speaking to you, it's the moment you know they don't care anymore. And I've had a lot of people in my life kind of push me along and be like, hey, keep going, keep going. Like, hey, people get upset at me, people get mad at me, people like really upset with like how I'm reacting to stuff and just because I wasn't following through. And I just thank God that I've had people in my life who've really been pushing for that because um, without them, I wouldn't be a fraction of who I am today. Um, it's probably the most important idea here. Like you can manifest things all you want, you can plan things all you want, but following through is the most important one of these all because executing whenever it's good, bad, rain, sleet, or hail, like whenever you gotta come back with something, you gotta come back with something. And there's no other way to chalk it up, honestly. There are moments whenever you really have to just 10 toes down and be like, I'm gonna figure this out. And I've been there. I've been there when I first moved here. I jumped off a huge leap of faith, being like, I don't have any job lined up. I'm dead broke. I'm in debt and I don't have any way to really. I have nothing planned, nothing, um, nothing ready for me, nothing waiting for me either. And I don't think you can go about that way your entire life, but there are moments in life where you really have to trust the process and know that you're a capable person and know that you're going to figure it out because you have to figure it out. The alternative is sleeping on the street. And thank God I had somebody you're willing to open up their home to me and able to allow me to make that leap and kind of like fall back on a few months rent before everything. But then, I mean, within like uh 4 weeks, like I was applying to jobs like crazy, looking for something, looking for anything at that point. Walking around downtown, just being like, hey. I'm looking for a job. Are you guys like hiring any dishwashers? Are you guys like doing like any bar back positions at bars and anything like that? And I managed to get a job. And since then and then I was like, all right, cool, I got this job. Like, let me get another one really fast. Like, this is a cool weekend gig, but like, I need some money. Got to like worked my ass off to get like try to talk to people, fill out so many applications, so many rejections, so many interviews where I was like. Ah, dude, this is like really disheartening to be this far into it. And like, I have nothing. Like, I don't know what I'm gonna do. Am I have to go back home? And that's just it wasn't really an option. And there was times, where you like kind of lose a little bit of faith, but you gotta keep the faith and you gotta keep it pushing. And yeah, you gotta pursue. It's like kind of thinking back to everything. How are you going to put something on the table when there's nothing around? Like, you gotta figure it out. Yeah, they used to send like boys off to war, and if they came back, they were men, you know. And I don't have any kind of task like that. I don't have, that's not the reality I live in. I'm not going off to war as a child and like hopefully coming back and being a man. It's not what I'm doing. Um, but it's more of like a spiritual battle, like a personal battle. Like, am I who I think I am? And I get glimpses of it, and I am. I really am. I am that person, and I get to be proud of the choices I make, and I get to be disappointed in the choices I make as well. So it means all that much more whenever I make something. It's beautiful. I love it, and I'm really thankful for all the struggles that I've been through. Like I said, I mean. in a position I've been like, dude, am I ever gonna get out of this position? Dude, surely enough. And thank God for people pushing me along the path to get me there. People prove their worth to themselves and others about through their pursuit, um, how you went about life, their tenacity, their relentlessness. And like I said, things are very different. Like if you could go back, if you could go out on your first hunt and bring back some sort of game, you were one of them. You were one of the guys. And said, I'm not hunting for my food. I'm not doing any of that. But like, can't the question for me, the question that other people who care about me are like, can I go do this? Can I go out into the world? Can I place myself in front of other people unashamedly, ask for help, and then go deliver and go kill what I got to kill and bring it back? That's the question, and I think the answer is absolutely yes. Absolutely yes. I'm not someone who like feels bad about myself. Thank God. I can get down on myself, but like I don't feel bad about myself. Like I know when it comes down to it, I gotta do what I gotta do, man. So I'm very thankful for all of that. Thankful to God for putting that in me. Thankful to God for putting these challenges in front of me, and thankful for me to really stepping over it. Because there's been a lot of times on this path where I thought, man, maybe I don't make it. Maybe it's like, I lose a little bit of faith, but I mean, God's looking out for me. God's working overtime for me, and I thank God for that. Thank Him for that. I want to be great. I want to work really hard at something I'm really proud at and deliver something that I'm really proud about to people, the world, so I can make my own living, so I can do my own thing, but so that the other people around me, people who care about me, aren't worried about me. That's really all this is about. I've always felt like I'm gonna be great, and this is greatness to me. Really making your mark and really getting out there in front of other people and doing these things, that's greatness to me. I'm not in the search of like, I'm not looking for billions of dollars. I'm just looking to do what I want and not struggle at making that happen. There's a struggle in it, but you know what I'm saying? I'm not trying to like scrape by. I'm trying to like fucking live. I built that up into me, and God's put that in me that I'm gonna make it or I'm gonna die trying. And maybe that's unreasonable, but I got to. This is my life, man. This is my life. This is, and look, talking to me, this is your life. You gotta make it. And if and when I might fail and fall short of everything that I say I'm about, may I fail responsibly. May I have the strength to continue to get back up day after day. And I think that's all I could ever ask for life. Just keep going, just keep pushing, make enough money so that me and the people I care about are good, and not just good, like living well. Like I've been broke in college. I've been broke after college. I'm tired of all that. So I'm really working my ass off to make this work. And I hope that shines through. That I care about this a lot, and I care about you a lot, and I care about the future a lot. And I care about the past and how I'm perceived, but how I care about, I might care too much about all of this. But at the end of the day, I want to be one of the greats. And that doesn't come with like just being so nonchalant about everything. Like I gotta care maybe more about the details, about the fine-tuned details that people aren't really caring about. And I hope I have faith that that's what's gonna get me through, and I have faith that I'm gonna make it or die trying because there's no other way to live this thing. I've it's otherwise it's a miserable existence. I gotta go all in. All my chips are in on this thing right now. I've sunk more money in this thing than I have put into money anything recently. And I wouldn't say it's a lot, but it's a lot for me. Like I know when it comes down to it, in a few years, it's gonna be like, oh, that's all it took, and then it cost me that much. Like look at the price tag itself. That's all it cost. But like it's been hours, it's been weeks, months of me playing this thing and really following through with everything, and it's been difficult to a point, to try to shut out the noise. And yeah, that's why last flip is so important to me. It's a spiritual thing. It's my connection to the world. It's my connection to God. It's my connection to me. It's how else am I going to get this done? Because I don't really see another way to get this done, and I'm not looking for anything else. This is what I want it to be, and I'm really proud to be about it. And yeah, that's what last flip's about. That's what I'm about. That's why I'm doing everything. I mean, I'm manifesting everything right now, and I'm putting my best foot forward. And I'm believing that I am who I think I am, and otherwise, I'm believing who I think I am, because that's the only way I know how to get things done. So when all that comes down to when it comes back around, I'm this is the place we're going to be able to find talks about, in the future. This is just an introductory episode, like I said, but in the future, this is going to be where I talk about, my current steps I'm taking for future reference for people who are looking to, like, maybe they don't know what to do and they're in my position that I'm in right now. And they'll be looking for, like, okay, maybe this is what I need to be doing, and maybe help something else out. But like I said, this is mainly for me. This is mainly for when I look back and I'm like, oh, I can show my kids like this is something I was doing. And it's kind of scary doing that. Like I'm recording myself for progeny and for posterity. And it's scary. It's not easy. It's so easy to like just be so lax and calm and everything about everything. But then I feel like that's whenever life passes you by. I felt like I've been more alive this past couple, I mean, years for sure, but definitely when I've like put way more energy and focus into like what I'm doing, I felt more alive now than I have felt in like years. Um, and but the thing is, you got to keep going. Just start, keep going. Just start. Maybe that's the episode of it. Keep going. Um, and shut out the noise. There's too much noise. It's pretty easy to get distracted. It's very easy to get distracted, and I'm looking for any ways to kind of remove that distraction so that it's less noise, it's more me, and more me in an intentional manner, so that I can follow through with the things that I say that I want to do. So that's what's going on. Lost for Flip. If you guys have any kind of suggestions, any more questions you want to ask me about anything, drop them in the comments. Let me know. In the meantime, I'll be coming back next week with a with another guest. And I hope that it also proves insightful to how to continue talking to people and to reach out to people, ask for help, and to be helpful and to be useful. Because I mean, we need everybody. We need other people. Can't do this by ourselves. Iron sharpens iron. And yeah, thank God for all your challenges. Thank God for everything that you're going through, because it's gonna make you better. You're gonna look back on this time of struggle, and once you get out of it, once you get to the other side, like that was beautiful. I didn't know I was capable of all of that. So, I mean, definitely, it's a perspective thing. And like I said, I haven't been through the worst just yet, but I'm sure it's coming eventually at some point. And I hope and I pray to God that I keep my faith and I keep that perspective on things, because it's so necessary. Take care of yourselves, and yeah, I'll catch you guys next week. Peace.